Well done if you're still with us. The very final features of the game are going to go in now. You'll see I've also added this apple sprite. So in the original Pacman game you can collect cherries which give you extra points, and there are also sort of giant pack points which for a short while will make Pacman able to eat the ghosts. Now I haven't done either of those things, but I wanted some kind of bonus feature in this second level, so adding the apple in, or collecting the apple in this case, gives you an extra life, so when things are getting more difficult on level 2 you've got the ability to get a life back really. So I just created another sprite, drew an apple, and this is some of the controls of how that works. This set of script first makes it firstly only appear when we get the level 2 message again, so it's told to show at that point. And a bit like the pack points really, they said if they're touching Pacman, hide, so the apple disappears, it plays a noise. I've chosen the one that's called Eating Ghost in this case. It waits for a second, it changes the lives by 1, so it gives us a life back, and then I've put a 5-second wait after that before the apple reappears, so Pacman can't just stay in the same place kind of collecting lots and lots of lives. The other part next to it, I wanted the apple to move around and for the game player to, again, not always know where the apple would appear, so it wouldn't be too easy just to collect lots of lives again. So this bit of script says when the flag is clicked, the apple is hidden. That's to make sure it's hidden at the start of the game. But after that, it's kind of moving around the screen to 4 different positions. So I've got a go-to block there with a coordinate which sets its first position. And then I've put these waiting blocks in, but it's the same waiting block we used before, but in the kind of the time space, what I've gone to is the operators section, and there's this really useful block that says pick random from 1 to 10, and you can drag that and click that into the time space in the seconds block and put a kind of a scale. So I've put in here from 3 to 8 seconds, so the computer will pick a random number between 3 and 8, and then it will do the next kind of instruction. So it goes to the first position, between 3 and 8 seconds it will then go to the second position, and again between 3 and 8 seconds it will go to the third position, and that's repeated for the last bit there. So there are 4 different positions, and the time delay moving between those positions is totally randomized by using that pick random block, and the computer decides how often and the speed, I suppose, that it moves between those blocks, which makes it much more difficult for the user to anticipate when it will appear in each of the 4 positions. And while you're busy playing the game and avoiding ghosts, you don't really get time to stop and think about where the apple's going to be, but that makes it appear more randomly and works really well. The very last thing I added is this sprite 7, which is just a black frame which appears when level 2 begins, because I wanted the level to switch and the music to play, but I didn't want Pacman to be able to kind of get going and start collecting things until that sort of level change music had finished, and there's a message that appears that says, are you ready for level 2 as well? So I created this black frame, and it is just a square that's transparent in the centre to appear over the green centre square, and because it's the same colour of the walls, it doesn't let Pacman through. It works in the same way as if you're touching those bits when we program the arrow keys. But it's quite simply, it's just a temporary thing. When I receive level 2, it shows up, it waits for 6 seconds, which is the length of the intermission music, and then it hides, so it disappears. And again, when we start the game, it's hidden. Just quite a simple way of kind of limiting Pacman's movement for a short amount of time sits him inside that frame. Okay, that's all the features that have been added to this advanced Pacman file. There are lots of other things you could do. It would be great to hear about some of the things that you add in. The secret passages at the side of the screen are possible to add those if you play the original Pacman game. And in that way, so as he leaves one side of the screen, he will appear on the other side. Broadcasting is a good way to do that. If you create the passage and put a very thin coloured stripe at the end of the passage, you can say when you're touching that colour, go to and appear on the other side of the screen if you use the right coordinate. And things like the cherries, or it'd be interesting to see if anybody can find a way to be able to eat the bad guys with Pacman for a short time. But lots you can do. If you need any more help, please get in touch with us at the CLC. But that's all for now.